Shalom, Kol Halal, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. The would-be judges, the 144,000, the tabernacle of David, who are to be the new government here on earth, under the authority of who the world ignorantly and fraudulently called JC. His name is Yahushai. And to the rest of the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, among the heathen nations that have the appearance of the heathen nations. This is not a black only thing. And to the few Akwaf, meaning the sisters that are listening and learning, I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you part 2 of the carnally minded people will learn spiritually the hard way after death by pain. This is part 2. Hold on, let me get this. Close the screen. I got glare on the screen there. Much better. And I'm going to open with Ecclesiastes 3, because we're in a time of war, the time of hate, the time of death. It's a time and season for everything. We're going to use the Holy Scriptures to prove that what I said is absolutely correct. And this is Ecclesiastes 3 and 8. And it reads, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to break down, and a time to build up. Jump into verse 6. A time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away. Verse 8. A time to love and a time to hate, a time to war and a time for peace. Peace comes after the Lord, Yahushai, who the world fraudulently and falsely calls JC, declares war on this present evil world and its rulership. And the world is ruled by Esau, Edom. The earth was given into the hand of the wicked, according to Job, the 9th chapter, 24th verse. In Daniel 4 and 17, it tells you that he set up over the Most High God, Yahweh, ruleth in the kingdom of man, and he set up over it the basis of men. So the basis of men is Esau, Edom. Esau, Edom is in rulership. Isaiah 34 and 8 tells you that the Lord has come. Matter of fact, I'll just read it. Isaiah 34, 8 reads, for the day of Yahweh's vengeance. See, we talked about the vengeance, the day of the Lord, in Isaiah 13 in the first part of this series. So continuing, for this is the day of Yahweh's vengeance and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion. What's the controversy of Zion? You got Edomite Khazar deniers claiming to be Israel, while labeling the Israelites black and African and Latino and Negro and Native and all these other names except who they are, which fits the curses. The Israelites will be called by bywords. They will be denied their heritage. So the Lord is coming back to end this controversy. Hell, you even got Walmart selling the 12 trot signs now. I guess Esau said, we can't stop this truth. We're going to just profit from it now. Okay. So let's jump into this next video. Back to where we were. It's part 2 of the teacher's video. Okay, so here we go.
You just believe what the fuck you're told. Somebody in the Red Hat crew asked me the other day, why the fuck should I believe you and study him? Well, because I'm not profiting off of lying to you. I have nothing to gain here, and I'm not being paid. Maybe you should ask yourself, who has something to gain off of lying to you? Those in charge of your government today, boo. That's who's profiting heavily off of the lies that they're telling to you. that would just be asking too much today for you to think for yourself in some kind of fucking way. But either way. So now Daddy wants to go defend radical left-leaning lunatics who are burning down their own city and shit. While he's telling you should fear the liberals here. And that you should be cheering, baby, as he's causing them fear. And killing them in the streets. Let's talk about some stuff that's in the brew that has to do with the shooter dude. He used to be part of Border Patrol back in the day. Turns out there was an investigation at play with Border Patrol back in the day. Yes, they were taking upon themselves to put themselves in front of vehicles so that they would have an excuse to use their pew-pew. So, when Christy Nome gets up there and says that he was following his training in every kind of way, well, that's partially true. He spent years training himself to put himself in front of a vehicle just so he could shoot you. Videos was leaked the other day of the Frozen crew getting a directive to turn off their body cams. They've also been given a directive to record on their telephones. Not so people can see what's going on, because they would have their body cam on. You know, the body cam footage that would go into the government to be analyzed in some kind of way? Oh, no. They've been directed to use their phones to make social media videos of their plays. That's why he had his phone in his hand that day and not his body cam on. So they can record these things, edit them in a way that would favor the regime, and put them out there on social media to be seen. Something else that you should know. A friend of mine likes to do a bit of investigating for me in those, encrypted chat rooms where the red pill and the black pill dudes hang out and all of that. And I asked them if they could find out for me if there's been a spike lately in people requesting certain videos of, like, law enforcement officers terrorizing people in the street. Within 30 minutes of him searching, he found several. Turns out there has been an uptick of exactly that shit. Some of you pointed out how he was making his own little snuff video. Well, it turns out he was directed by those in charge up there, that regime, to film himself doing shit obscene, being violent, and owning the libs. And it turns out some of those videos that the Frozen crew are recording today are circulating on the dark web, I guess you could say, and they're being bought and sold. Ain't that something?
I wouldn't doubt it.
Man. But you red hats seem to think that your neighbor is your enemy today. Meanwhile, they're violating people in the streets just so they can make a video to press propaganda against you every day and confuse you, and also to sell that shit on the dark web, boo. So who's being owned and played today? That's you fucking dumbass MAGA slave. Well.
All right. So that was more of a rant. But here we go. Getting down to the nitty gritty now. This, I believe she's a Vanessa, right? This Cuban chick.
I think this is going to be my last attempt at trying to reason with anybody
Probably
in the
really
United
Judah,
States
though.
before I just cold leave this bitch, because at the end of the day, motherfuckers is just acting like everything is normal.
Oh,
okay?
wrong one. This one. We saw that
You
one.
guys are talking about, well, a tax boycott. Yeah, that's cute, but that's not enough. And half of you won't even participate. Well, they're going to throw me in jail for not paying tax. Bitch, that's not a thing. Income taxes are voluntary. You don't even have to fall down a rabbit hole. It's literally common knowledge. There are actual congressmen and women on national TV reminding you.
Wait, let's clear it up. Income tax, you got to really break it down. Wages, if you got a job, a 9 to 5, it's voluntary. If you own property or a business, it's not voluntary. You have to pay it. All right. So they do get over. They are bushwhacking you. All right. You people who clock in, who check in and check out every day, and then they tax you and or say you owe or whatever. That's what she's trying to say. Just to clear it up. Earnings are taxable. wages or not. So everybody who works a job, a 9 to 5, and you're getting robbed.
Income taxes are fucking voluntary. The worst case scenario, if you don't pay income taxes, is that 4 to 5 years from now, they could put a lien against your wages to the tune of 15% of your disposable income. That is the worst case scenario, okay? There is no jail.
So, like, you know, because they'll say, no, Willie Nelson, you know, what's his name? Blade, Wesley Snipes, you know, they had earnings. And it's all bullshit anyway. But they had earnings because they were getting residuals from their music, from their movies, and that whole sort of thing. Okay? That's different from a guy who's a construction worker, or, you know, or a guy who's a postal worker who checks in, you know, who clocks in and clocks out. That's a whole different thing. So those people, taxes is voluntary, because you pay taxes every time you you shop, every time you go to the movies, everything you do, you paying taxes.
Time for not paying fucking income tax, but tax exempt and a boycott is not enough. We shouldn't be going to work. We shouldn't be sending our children to school. We shouldn't be paying student loans. We shouldn't be paying credit cards. We should be pulling all of our money out of the banking system, savings, CD accounts, checking accounts, Roth IRAs, 401ks, anything you have in any bank account needs to come out ASAP. Stop paying utilities. Oh, they're going to shut my lights off. I'm sorry. Is that worse than getting shot in the face or rotting in a fucking concentration camp indefinitely? You guys are just
now, to a certain extent, she's right. Meaning you can't march your way to a better way. Esau only acknowledges money and violence. As simple as that. There's no other way.
Having this in your head that you're going to bypass fascism without any discomfort. Can you please be the fuck for real? And for those of you who are like, I'll deal with it on the back end. They come to my house. I've got something waiting for them. Okay, Rambo, you're not fucking Liam Neeson or Denzel Washington. This isn't a movie. This is real fucking life.
Exactly.
When a whole squadron knocks on your door, fully armed in tactical gear, the best case scenario is you bust off a few shots before they kill you and your entire fucking family.
Exactly.
You want to live out a little Rambo fucking fantasy? Develop a militia for your community, a blockade, something.
Now you hear
Strength
that?
in fucking numbers. Please make it make sense, because this isn't even wildly radical or controversial. It is quite literally common fucking sense. Can Americans please be the fuck for real? You are not going to get out of this situation by skipping a fucking caramel macchiato one day, not shopping at Target this week, canceling your fucking Hulu subscription. No. Bare minimum. It's gonna be uncomfortable.
Not only
Calm
that,
the fuck on.
you're gonna die if you try to fight Esau, Edom. His blessing is the sword. You see, that's the thing. And people, and the issue with this, and the reason we're doing part 2 is because the spirit of rebellion is, and rightfully so. That's the flip side of the coin. Rightfully so. But that's not the thing to do. The thing is that the scriptures clearly say, wait upon me. The Lord's going to rise up to the prey. So that's what me and my house are going to do. And, you know, I'm waiting on the Lord. You cannot, Esau, this earth was given into his hands. So until his time is up, and it's almost up, okay? It's almost up. You can see his kingdom falling, but you can't rush it. And the thing is that he's wounded and he's dying and his system is crashing. And the last and his biggest gift was the sword. That's the only thing he has left. That's why these law enforcement in general in America, not just ICE agents, but the cops before, this is why they do what this is why they go around the world and just, you know, infringe on other people's lands, you know, and never keepeth at home, as it says in Habakkuk, and take other people's shit through violence. All right. Or they say they covered fields. Let's get that real quick. You know, Esau's the biggest. He's the stick-up kid, the worldwide stick-up kid. You know, rolling up on everybody, hopping out with the 38, making them break themselves. That's Esau. Okay? He running your pockets. This is Micah 2 and 1. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. They covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. Nobody is guilty of this as the Edomite is, the so-called white man. This has been his entire existence, have been to covet other people's stuff, to violently take away their things, all right, and oppress, suppress them, and then in a lot of cases claim to be them. Okay, Alexander took over Asia, and he took over Western Asia, and started calling themselves the Greeks. Started calling themselves the Romans. All those people in Western Asia, what you fraudulently call Europe today, all those people were melanated people before Alexander came in. And just because they're now, then they with the pseudoscience and lying, they teach history as if that's where they came from and that's who they were. No, Esau Edom, he's a vagabond. He has no home. He's never had a home. Even Mount Seir wasn't his. Okay, his home Petra in Jordan. By the sword shall he live, and by the sword he's going to die. Just like the Lord said, if you live by the sword, you shall die by the sword. And whose blessing was the sword? The Edomites. When he got his blessing, by the sword thou shalt live. What does that mean? You're going to rape, rob, and get the wealth of the world until your time is up. That's what the Bible says about Edom. So let's get this last scripture. This is 2 Ezra 15 and 14. And it reads, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. The modern day sword is a gun. But you're going to have people do it with literal swords too, machetes and knives. All right? And shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and great tribulation. Because of lack of food and lack of, they're going to come in and they're going to eat up your food, murder you, drink up your wine and all your resources. Like I said, rape your family members, men too. Men going to be getting raped too. And then when you run out of, when they finish raping you enough, they get bored of you, they're going to kill you. It's going to be a lot of cannibalism. People going to be eating other people. You lose a fight, you're going to end up dead. They're going to snatch up women and they're going to have their way with them, for however long they feel like it. And when they get bored of them, they're going to kill them and eat them. Get some new women. It's going to get ugly, apocalyptic, crazy out here. And if you don't have the covering of the Lord on you, you're going to, especially you carnal people who don't want to believe, you're going to get that death by pain. And that's all it is to it. So with that, I'm going to give all praises, all honor and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakaha Kwadash Kwan Yasarala, Abba Babal.